One powerful thing that we can do for ourselves is to forgive. Today, I'm going to talk to you about 4 things that forgiveness is and 4 things that forgiveness is not. I like to think about a duffel bag. You know, a duffel bag that you can put in an overhead compartment in an airplane. Over the years, that bag gets filled up with fears and disappointments and hurts and mean things that people have done to us and said to us. And the bag gets heavier and heavier and heavier. And it's okay to carry that bag around for a while, but eventually it just gets too heavy and too full, and there's no room for joy, laughter, fun, excitement, and love. Forgiveness allows us to take those feelings of pain, hurt, sadness out of the bag one by one and leave room and space for all the good that can come into our lives. It's a fairly straightforward and logical practice. Forgiveness is like a magical potion that just helps us to ease our bodies and ease our minds. It relieves physical tensions and ailments from our bodies, helps to clear our minds, bring clarity into our lives, and it just really makes sense to do. Forgiveness is about an expansion of the duffel bag and an expansion of our lives. It expands the duffel bag, and rather than this ugly thing that takes up so much space, it allows light into the situation. The thing is, it's not always easy to forgive. Some of the hurts that have been done to us are so painful that we don't want to forgive. We want an apology. We want that person to hurt as much as we hurt, but it doesn't work that way. When we don't forgive and we live in that pain and we live in that shame and that blame and that hurt, we're actually disempowering ourselves and we're empowering the other person. When we forgive and we learn to forgive, we empower ourselves and we can let go of the shame, the blame, the hurt, and leave space for the joy, the happiness, the love, the possibilities that are all there for you to experience. So what are the 4 things that forgiveness is not? Forgiveness is not denying the wrong that someone has done to you. It's not saying that it didn't happen. It's not saying that it doesn't hurt. It's not trying to brush it under the carpet or pretend it doesn't exist or didn't happen. That's not forgiveness. Number 2, it's not contingent upon an apology. Forgiveness is for you. Forgiveness is something that you give to yourself, but it doesn't mean that you will ever receive an apology. It doesn't mean that the other person will ever say, "I'm sorry." Number 3, forgiveness is not forgetting. You know the old adage, forgive and forget? That's not true. We don't forget. When we forgive, we release, we let go, we take control of our lives. We don't let that hurt, that blame, that shame, that pain that is caused by someone else to be a part of who we are. So forgiveness is not expecting or accepting an apology. And finally, number 4, forgiveness is not reconciling. When you forgive someone, it doesn't mean that you want to be a part of their lives again. It doesn't mean that you want to get back together the way it used to be. It doesn't mean that you want to hang out with them. It's not about reconciling. You can create boundaries where you see the people or that person once in a while, or you don't see that person ever again, or you see that person in this certain circumstance or in this certain situation. You create boundaries around your relationship with that person, but it is not about reconciling. So what is forgiveness? Forgiveness is like canceling a debt. I'm releasing you of the burden of paying me back for something. So you're canceling the debt. That's number one. Number two, forgiveness is an ongoing practice. You may decide after listening to this to forgive someone that's hurt you in your life. And that's great. You can decide right now that you're going to forgive them. Next week, you may come back and you may realize, I haven't quite forgiven them. And how can you know this? Well, I tap into my heart, my mind, and my body. So I have had to forgive a couple of people in my life that are important to me. And what I realized is I thought I forgave them, but then I took a look at what I was thinking. And if I'm thinking about, how I still don't like them, or they said that, or they did this, and I'm thinking and I'm ruminating about things that bother me still about that person, then I know I still have work to do. Another area to tap into is your heart. How do you feel when you think about that person? Do you wish them ill will? Do you wish that something bad would happen to them? If those are thoughts that you're having, you probably have some work to do. And how does your body feel when you think about that person? Do you feel tight? Do you feel agitated? Do you feel sweaty or hot or bothered? So listen to your body, listen to your mind, listen to your heart. And if anything is not quite right, then you probably have some work to do. And remember that forgiveness is an ongoing practice. Number 3 is forgiveness is not wanting ill for the offender. When you no longer wish wrong towards that person, or you wish that person had something bad happen to them in their life, or you're revengeful, or you're angry towards them, forgiveness is not wanting that. And forgiveness is removing the emotional control that that person has over you. So when you're feeling bothered, forgiveness is simply for you, and it's just for you. Forgiveness is a gift that you give to yourself. It clears space in your mind, it opens your heart, it calms your body, and it's a practice that's worth doing. So if you've been hurt, which we all have, by someone that you care about, or someone that you love, or someone that you thought had your back and they didn't, or someone at work, or one of your children or your parents, this might be a practice worth considering. And be kind to yourself, be compassionate with yourself. It's not, I forgive them and it's over. Think about the 4 things that forgiveness are and the 4 things that forgiveness aren't. And know that if you're trying, you're on the right path. And then as soon as you can think about that person and you really don't feel anything, you don't feel anything negative, you're not thinking negative thoughts about them, then your work is done for that day. You are loved, you are worthy, you are perfect just the way that you are. And thanks very much for listening today.